All right, it's Thursday, May 4th. This is an end of the day SPY recap, and today we end up with a two-down day. Take out the low of the previous day and closed red, but we reached a key target, as we'll go over in a minute here, and that was kind of the high probability play for coming into today, as we discussed in the recap video last night. You had the big red bar here that had failed the halfway point of the prior week, so there was high probability you were going to get an outside week to the downside. So you end up with a push down to take out those levels, and now we're at a key kind of inflection point again, where if you look at the weekly chart, we've broadened out, taking out the highs of the previous week and the lows of the previous week. So this is an area where maybe we just make a higher high and a lower low, and we reverse back up all the way through the formation again and back to the upside. Or does this become a 3-bar that closes weak tomorrow? After Friday we get the end of the week, and then you get a 3-2 continuation, and you start broadening out on a higher time frame. And the higher time frame is the monthly chart in this case, which we also have kind of broadened out as well, taking out the highs of the previous month, the lows of the previous month now. So if we want to continue lower here for the rest of the month, that means we're going down to a higher time frame broadening, and maybe can start hitting targets. There's some fair value gaps in here on the daily chart. We have the midpoint of this buying tail a couple of months ago. That could be a target. And at that point, if we really get continuation for the rest of this month, then we're going to have to see some kind of a reversal. That might take a couple of months to form, because typically when you get a 3-bar, the reversal bars are either a 3-2 down and then a 2 up. That can take 2 months. You get a 3-bar, maybe an inside month, and then you wait to see if you break up or down. So that can take 2 months. So we're getting to a point now where we're going to stick with the downside because of continuity, but we know we've broadened out on a weekly and monthly time frame. So the question is, are we going to be broadening out on even a higher time frame now, or is this going to be a choppy area where we kind of go back and forth? So if you can look at the daily chart and spread it out, kind of get the higher highs here, 3 of them, and maybe we get 3 lower lows, and then we come all the way back through to the upside. In order for that to happen, let's say it starts tomorrow, for some reason we'd have to start above the midpoint of today and have a nice big 2 up bar. That might give a hint that this was just broadening action. If we come, every time I hit a target, I kind of see, do we pause and then continue, or do we pause and then reverse, and it fails to break out? That's kind of the key thing at any target on any time frame. So now on the daily chart, we're kind of at a moment to see what really happens next, and it doesn't always happen in one day. It might take a few days to determine, are we really following through from here, or are we failing to follow through, which gives a good sign we might be coming back through the broadening formation to the upside. So we're going to check it out. Or keep an eye on it. So in terms of today on the 15-minute chart, again, it was very high probability we were going to take out. This was the key weekly target down here, this red line. I bought puts at this red line, and I shot a video. I was very aggressive on the 1-minute chart. Well, I could look at, if you look at the 5-minute chart, first of all, you had the opening bar here doing nothing, and then the second bar really went down strong. You could have been aggressive on that bar to go short. I was looking at the 1-minute chart. I don't know if you can see it as easily if I don't space it out, but we kind of had a little bit of consolidation. I was waiting for it maybe to take out these highs first. Didn't want to do that. It started down, and I got very aggressive buying puts on the first 2 up, 2 down on the 1-minute chart, expecting these targets to be hit. And what happened was, once entry came in on the 15-minute chart, you had the first bar down, you had the second bar just kind of pausing, second and third bars pausing, holding the midpoint of the first bar, and then you started down. Now what's interesting, this was a very nice gain in here to take all kinds of profits or scale out. So you had your base hit trade early on if you just wanted to exit here. Once it came up here and made this move and held the midpoint of that bar, you just missed that target. And that's why I thought there was high probability you were going to get a secondary move down there. So then you hit the target really on this one move down, second move down. And I always talk about that as part of my trading plan, first move of the day, and then see if we get a secondary move to hit the intraday high or low, whatever that may be. Then, of course, you reversed here, so that was your sign to kind of exit for the day, and that's it. And that's all you're expecting. There's no up movement to really play, even though it kind of broadened out to the upside, then it came down again. So now we close red, and we determine, like I said, in the big picture, is this just going to be temporary broadening action within this little area here that eventually works its way back up, or do we, hold in here, not really reverse, and then go to much bigger time frames? There's all kinds of fair value gaps down here. And for now, you got to stay negative, given that the week is red from the open. That's the yellow line. We're below that. The week obviously is red. The month is red. So, you're going to stick with the downside, but just know there's no actionable signal tomorrow. In other words, it doesn't mean you can't play whatever structure unfolds on the 15-minute chart in the pre-market range, as I always do early on. But just know that you might not get if it goes lower, you might not get the follow through because it might reverse. And if it goes up, don't be surprised. We're not really confirmed until we get some kind of 2-up bar here that even there's a chance that this, next week might want to start up again. And again, we'll have to see how the weekly bar closes tomorrow, and that'll be a good sign. If let's say it kind of stays down here, then we're going to likely get kind of a 2 down in some form, and then we'll have to see if we get a reversal some point next week to get bias to the upside. If not, the monthly chart is still down below this yellow line, and we're going to have to stay negative and kind of anticipate maybe we're working down towards higher time frame levels down here. So let's see how the week ends tomorrow. No real actionable signal. Today was the day it really achieved its goal, and we're just going to have to see what unfolds in the bigger picture.